Hello friends, Man City have laid down a marker against Arsenal. They have beaten the title contenders by 3-1 at the Emirates. But how did the game unfold and what actually happened? Join me as we go through some of the major talking points that surrounded this game. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well, you don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future. But now let's talk about Manchester City beating Arsenal by 3-1. The title race is on. What a twist in the title race that we have just had. The game obviously ended Arsenal 1, Manchester City 3, and I thought this was a brilliant performance from Man City, a professional performance, one of structure, one of stature, really laying down a marker to this new Arsenal team. Arsenal, I thought, did okay in the game. They contributed to what was a very entertaining match. That being said, I thought they were a little bit naive in some of the instances in which they went forward, and I also think they lacked a bit of balance. We're going to get into that in just a moment, so bear with me. If we have a look at the attacking momentum bar, though, you can see that Arsenal really dominated possession in the first half. They dominated the real momentum of the game. They were the ones driving forwards. However, due to that Tomiyasu mistake, the goal came completely against the run of play, and all of a sudden you felt Arsenal shake. You saw the faces of the players, you saw the way they reacted. However, the crowd got behind them and they managed to get the goal back. This buoyed up the crowd and the Arsenal players came back. They go into half-time 1-1, the result that I'm sure they would have been perfectly happy with given the mistake. Afterwards, they really did struggle to maintain any kind of momentum, as did Man City. However, this was a different kind of Man City performance. Again, we'll talk about that in just a second. But they really start to dominate possession once they switch to a 4 at the back. They really maintained that pressure and maintained an ability of going forwards. Erling Haaland did a really good job of spreading the play and always threatening to run in behind. Arsenal were continuously trying to push bodies forward, and Erling Haaland was continuously on that line of offside, grappling with Gabriel, grappling with Saliba, making it difficult and making the lives of those defenders extremely difficult. The third goal came in, that obviously killed the game off for Arsenal. Didn't stop them trying to go forwards, but I just didn't think they really had any real attacking impotence in the game. If we have a look at some of these players, and we'll talk about some of them, I thought Man City did a very good job of nullifying Martin Odegaard. I didn't think he was really in the game at all. And if we have a look actually at some of his stats, you can see that although he was actually in the correct position, the place where we know he can be, the inside right-hand pocket channel to be able to play passes inside or out, he never really managed to beat a duel. He never really managed to beat a man. His duels were lost. 6 ground duels, 0 of them won, and that's just not good enough for your main playmaker. In the preview that we did for this game, we actually spoke about the influence of Martin Odegaard and how important and how crucial he would be in any kind of attacking play that Arsenal had going forwards. Jorginho coming in, I thought did all right, but he really did lack the tempo and the pace of this Arsenal side. Everything seemed to be a little bit slower and everything seemed to be a little bit off the cuff, off the pace, and I think that was down to not having Thomas Partey. While I do think that Jorginho actually did okay, I didn't think that he really managed to dictate the game either. Again, 4 ground duels, only 1 of them he won. But it's about this right hand side that I really want to mention. Zinchenko, when he goes forwards, I think he's brilliant, and I think he slips into midfield very well. He goes and helps out Jorginho and Granit Xhaka. But I thought that with Man City playing a back 3, and they did play a back 3 for the most of the game, as you can see. With Man City playing a back 3, you could really understand that the space was in the wide areas, which is why it surprised me that he played Tomiyasu. Obviously, that's where the first goal came from, the mistake. But the space is in the wide areas, not in the middle of the pitch. They respected Arsenal enough to bulk out the midfield and stop Arsenal from really driving through. This stopped Martin Odegaard from finding those pockets of space, and it stopped Granit Xhaka, which pushed him backwards. This is also down to the attacking line. This Man City attacking line really stopped Arsenal from playing through the middle. They worked extremely hard and they got their dividends. That being said, I didn't think Arsenal read the game well enough. Alexander Zinchenko coming into midfield isn't where he needed to be. He needed to make overlapping runs, helping runs. This is what Tomiyasu needs to do as well. When Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli were being occupied by the 2 main centre-backs, they needed overloads, and it's these overloads which is what they didn't get. If I show you the heat map for Zinchenko. Now, yes, he's defending most of the time on this channel. However, he does drift into this space more often than not. And you can actually see in an attacking sense, he's more in the midfield than he is in these wide areas. Now, I understand that's because he doesn't want to step on Martinelli's toes. But when you have a look at where Martinelli was, he actually went looking for the ball anyway. So he wasn't getting a lot of the play down this left-hand side either. And to compound all of this, both of them were stepping on Granit Xhaka's shoes. It just didn't really work, and I felt there was an imbalance when you compare that to the likes of Bukayo Saka and the way that he played. He hugged this right touchline, and I think that Arsenal could have had a much more balanced effect and a much more balanced attack had they kept Zinchenko and Martinelli down this left-hand side, just creating that little bit of extra pressure on both sides. It allowed Man City to favour one side, and obviously they were not happy going up against Kyle Walker, who had an absolutely sensational game. Probably one of my players of the match, because he dominated this right-hand flank. And obviously that made Martinelli want to go and drift away to try and find different options in different space. 8 out of his 11 ground duels were won. 2 out of his 2 aerial duels, a proper centre-backs performance in a big high magnitude game. This again set the precedent for Nathan Ake, Ruben Diaz, and it helped calm the nerves of Bernardo Silva and Rodri, who were playing very well together. This front four did a very good job of making sure that Arsenal were continuously pressurised, and Erling Haaland by himself managed to get a good amount of pressing actions. Kevin De Bruyne really helped with this and almost came out to be a second striker in some certain scenarios, pressurising the likes of Gabriel and William Saliba. So let's go and have a look at some of the stats, because I did think that this was an opportunity that was missed for Arsenal. I did think that they should have benefited a lot more from the 10 shots that they had. Again, only 1 on target. That's just not good enough. 1.62 expected goals, 64% possession. This was a Man City side that was actually dominated in possession. Can you believe that? A Pep Guardiola side that understood what kind of result they wanted from the game, and they actually went toe-to-toe with Arsenal. They played Arsenal's game. Arsenal played electric front foot football with the crowd behind them, but Man City understood what they needed to do. They needed to grind out a result, and that's exactly what they did. Let's go and have a look at a couple of more of these stats, because it really does tell the tale of the game. We always say on this channel, if you win your duels, you're more than likely going to win the game, and that's 49 duels to Arsenal's 40. 12 aerial duels won, 2, 9. It just became a game of champions. And Man City have really taught Arsenal a lesson here in how to manage out games, manage out expectation, and utilising the quality that they have on the pitch to really grind out a result. I thought Arsenal played very well, and I thought they really did give it a good go in the first half, but a lacking performance in Martin Odegaard, a strange right-hand or left-hand side, I should say, from Zinchenko, Xhaka and Martinelli, who I didn't really think had any kind of impact on the game whatsoever. Eddie Nketiah was somewhat absent, and it was only a Bukayo Saka that was really driving forwards and creating a lot of danger. I thought that Arsenal were a bit lacking in attack. They were lacking that potency and they were lacking that drive, and that was something in Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne and the likes of Gundogan, Mahrez and Grealish that Man City did not lack at all. Again, the game ended Manchester City 3, Arsenal 1. I still think Arsenal are going to be in with a shout of the Premier League, but it's taken yet another turn. It's taken yet another twist. Man City have laid down their marker, and now it remains to be seen how Arsenal come back mentally, because this will be a massive blow. The champions have made a statement. Once again, the game ended Arsenal 1, Manchester City 3. That's it for now, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave the video with a like and subscribe if you haven't, for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. You don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future, and let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. Are you an Arsenal fan or are you a Man City fan? Regardless of whichever team you support, let me know your thoughts on the game. How did you find it? I'd love to hear from you. But like I said, that's it from me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care of yourselves and bye bye.